I'm awkwardly sitting on my foot right now because I'm too short, and if I sit normally, then you guys can't see my sword. And like, what's the point of having an office then? Hello, my feral friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Panthera, and I'm the Feral Witch. Today, I am partaking in an amazing collaboration with some other awesome witchy creators and magical practitioners, and we're going to be giving you guys some ideas for doorway spells. The Witch of Wonderlust came up with this idea and is organizing this collaboration, and you can join in too with the hashtag doorway spell. I'll be linking the other creators that I know are partaking down in the description below, so be sure to check out their videos after you're done with this one. For my contribution to this tag, I'm going to be creating a spell that kind of absorbs negative energies when you walk through a doorway. So kind of like a filter for a pool or a fish tank, I kind of want it to absorb all that negative energy that you've been carrying through your day. Maybe you've had a rough day at work, or you got stuck in some really bad traffic on your way home, and you just want all of that to just wash over you and be gone when you enter home. You want to be nice and comfy, relaxed, and just enjoy your nice, safe, sacred space. My home is my sanctuary, and I want to keep it a place that is relaxing and recharging for me. The ingredients in the spell are kind of broken into two categories. There is the cleansing and purification side, and then there is the protection side. The cleansing side is all about absorbing and then clearing that negative energy. And then the protective side is just another layer of protection for your dwelling. I think any/most house spells should have a layer of protection added onto them. Magic just works best in layers, like a good Ren Fair costume, or a cake or an ogre. So anytime you can add a little extra protection, it's just good practice to do so. I mean, just think about it. Our homes hold pretty much everything that we hold dear to us. My PC setup, myself, and our pets and loved ones. She's so happy to be here. As with all of my spells, while I do have ingredients listed here, feel free to mix and match and use what works for you. Everyone has different levels of accessibility with the different spices they have access to in their kitchen cabinet or the crystals that they have at their disposal. This particular spell for me is going to be using a selenite bar as a base. Then we're going to be kind of making a crystal sandwich. It's going to be fun. We're going to be using black wax as our kind of glue that holds everything together. Some black tourmaline crystal chips, some cinnamon for some extra cleansing, protective, and maybe a little prosperity sprinkled in there. Some clove. I'll be making a sigil as well for the spell. The main goal with the spell is going to be making it be able to fit on the top of a door frame. So you'll be able to set it there and it will kind of cleanse the energies as you walk to and fro. Without further ado, let's get to it. Voiceover Panthera here. It's time to do some magic. Boop. So first we are starting off by cleaning our space. As usual, we're just trying to get our headspace set, the vibes clear. The main part of the spell is our selenite. This beauty here is going to be the base for our crystal sandwich. So I personally like to kind of wake up my ingredients. I like to warm it with the energy from my hands because, as we all know, heat is a form of energy. So this is kind of how I like to wake up my ingredients, my spell allies, my crystal allies. I like to kind of talk to it and tell it what to do. Now I'm going to be making my sigil. This sigil was created on my iPad originally. That's my favorite spot to make sigils because I can kind of edit them as needed, and I'm going to pop up the recording here so that you guys can kind of watch and see my process there. So I took my original statement and then I broke it down into the individual letters. I removed the vowels and the duplicates, and I broke those letters down into lines and circles, and then I kind of drew a nice long horizontal sigil. I knew I wanted it to be long and skinny because I needed it to fit on that selenite bar. So, and then here I'm just kind of copying that sigil onto my piece of paper, and then I'm going to be activating this sigil. To activate my sigil, I am using my protection spell oil. This is one of the few oils that I have listed in my Etsy shop. I love this one in particular. It's a nice, gentle, but strong protection. It's not too harsh, so I find it's a really good one for working with like people, not like evil spirits or anything, but like to protect against people and things and just bad energies. It does a great job. So here I am anointing it. Now I'm going to turn on my most important tool of the spell, the hot glue gun, which I'm going to be using to apply my black wax. While that heats up, we're going to be prepping our other ingredients. So we're going to be working with them, waking them up, assigning them their duties, so to speak. So that's going to be our cinnamon, our black tourmaline, our cloves. And just like we did with the selenite here with the cinnamon, I am just kind of waking it up. I am warming it. I am telling my little friend Cinnamon that it is time to get to work, so to speak. Now, cinnamon is associated with purification and protection, as well as prosperity. I'm including cinnamon because it's accessible, it works well with the structure of this spell, and also everyone has been so obsessed with the whole blowing cinnamon through the front door on the first of the month thing. So I figured, why not throw in a little extra abundance? Especially if, like me, you mostly work from home, it's always good to just add a little extra oomph in there. Our next ingredient is our black tourmaline crystal chip. So black tourmaline is one of my favorite protective crystals to work with. It kind of is like a sponge. It just like slurps up all the bad energies, bad anything that's out to get you. Then it's going to kind of be cleansed by that selenite that it's laying on top of. So we've got this renewable energy crystal talisman here. Our next ingredient for our spell now is clove. I have some physical clove here from my herb cabinet. However, you can use clove oil as well. Clove itself has all kinds of purification and protective qualities. It has been used all across the globe in all kinds of different rituals for this purpose. It's also associated with the fire element and kind of sharing fire strengths and burning away impurities. So it shares this with cinnamon as well. And now that our hot glue gun is ready to go, our wax is nice and hot, we can go ahead and start building our spell itself. Choosing black wax was intentional here, and black is a just protective color. If you're into color magic is just another really easy thing to help layer on top of other spells. Black itself, just like it absorbs and kind of holds on to all the other colors in the rainbow, it is a protective element. I do find that when building the spell, less is more. My first one that I tried, I had to refilm the whole thing. My first protective talisman that I made ended up looking like an evil chocolate covered pretzel stick. Like, it was just lumpy and very strange, like an evil, what's it called when there's peanut butter and raisins on a piece of celery, like ants on a log? It was like demonic ants on a log. But this one comes out much better, and I cannot inform you enough that less is more when it comes to the wax. I also don't know how easy this would be without having the hot glue gun to apply the wax. It makes it much easier. Wax dries really quickly when it cools, so you don't have much time to work. Using a candle for this, I don't think would give you enough time and enough wax to actually apply your ingredients in time before it dries. So just something to keep in mind. I do think that you can use any hot glue gun with wax. Just make sure that the glue is gone, and make sure that you run out of wax before you put in more hot glue. I like to use the low setting on my hot glue gun for wax in particular. The hot setting is just a little too much and the wax comes out too fast. So just keep that in mind. Also, as I just burned myself, wax is hot, so be careful when applying your ingredients here. I have cosplay fingers, so I'm very used to touching hot glue after many years of crafting, but it still hurts, so be careful. Use gloves if you need to, or just, don't touch the hot wax. You can be patient with this, or at least more patient than I've been. And the final little piece of the spell is I wanted to include a little protective charm. This is just a little pentacle charm. I use pentacles a lot, as you saw on my sigil, as a form of protection. That is just kind of a symbol of protection for me in my practice, but you could use whatever works for you, whether it's an evil eye charm, or whatever is useful for that in your practice. And I wanted it to sit upright so I could see it from the front when it's up on the top, although I'm really short and doorframe's really tall, so we'll see how it goes. While it cools, I wanted to show you guys my super cursed first trial of this spell. It was horrible. It looks so ugly, and it couldn't even fit on the top of the doorframe anymore. It was just not the vision. Should still work though. I'll just put it in a spot where I don't have to stare at it. And there we have it. Now that it's cool, I can show you off the final product. I am much happier how this one came out instead of my evil cursed pretzel log. I just love how it sits so nicely. I like how it's got a visual element to it. I love how it stacks a lot of the different tools and materials I use in my practice. And last thing to do is place it. Thank you all for watching. I hope you check out those other videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! You might be able to see my cat playing with her toy through here. I didn't think this setup through. We're just going with it. I'm going to create a bee. Luna, you are fired. Today I am partaking. Don't bite me. I'm gonna practice. The troublemaker.